Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Here we are, episode 2. We're going to talk about how to manage change today. We have some really fun stuff to share with you today, all kinds of weirdo stuff, because that's who we are. We're a bunch of weirdos. It is what it is. I'm Amber Champagne, if you don't know me, and oh, you're on mute, baby. This is what live does.
I'm Blaze, aka Kristina. What's up, everybody?
What up? Yeah, welcome to Calls with Friends. It's me and Blaze just hanging out, talking about some, life situations, like what the different things that we go through in life, just having conversations, because that's what we love to do. And we always come together and find lots of different stuff from just speaking with one another. And we thought, oh my gosh, we do this so much behind the scenes. We thought we would bring it here on live and just have conversations that you guys could also partake into. So welcome. Thank you for being here. Unlike media's heinous comment right off the bat of being forced to be here, you are not forced to be here. No one is forced to be here.
I'm forcing him to be here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Oh man. But yeah, we're going to talk about change today. It's going to be great. And I'm looking forward to a really good conversation. Of course, we have some fun trivia, some other fun nuggets for you guys too. So hang around. Be sure to please repost the live and like it and all of that jazz. And please comment. We'd love to put all of your stuff up. Hey, what's up, Mike? Thanks for being here. Super appreciate you, dude. Yeah, but with that, we have a little message for today.
So for Memorial Day, before I do the icebreaker question, I want to take a moment and give honor and gratitude to those who risk their lives every single day for our safety, to our veterans, and to those who have lost their lives serving our nation. You do it without pause, without question, selflessly, and some of us do not take that lightly. It's land of the free because of you. And we just want to say thank you. We love and appreciate you, and we honor you today.
Amen. Thank you for everything that you've done. Super appreciate that. It is Memorial Day. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. And, getting to hang out, do your thing, whatever. I don't know. Some of you are probably eating hot dogs, which just horrifies me, but that's fine.
Me too.
Oh God, it's horrible. It's raining here today, actually. So it's kind of interesting, but yes, we know you are here to tell the tale, and happy that you didn't, for sure. Thank you for your service, friend.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so let us hop into the icebreaker question.
All right. So, icebreaker question. If you could morph into anything, what would you morph into?
Oh my God, what? This energy tincture.
That looks so delicious.
This energy tincture drink. Can I morph into this?
Can I morph into just one big Olipop?
I mean, I'm sure we could. What would our lives be like, though, if we just became drinks? Probably wouldn't last too long.
Never mind. It would be.
Yeah, I'm like, Pause.
Move along. I would absolutely morph into a wizard.
Oh, all right.
Having the ability to fly and manipulate time and control the elements, that would be so cool.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. I am into that. I want to also morph into a wizard if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can
We can
take
be
yours.
wizards together.
I don't know if I can take yours, and if I can, I would love to. Honestly, yeah, I don't. That's a hard question. Honestly, what would you guys morph into? What up, Ben? Thanks for being here. Super appreciate you, homie.
Hey, homie.
What would you guys morph into if you could morph into something? That is a tough question, in
It
my
is.
opinion.
There's so many options.
But what do I know? I love all the noise that happens from lives. I
Me
think it's
too.
hilarious. Like it's like all the different things that you try to control from a podcast perspective, but you're just like, you can't.
Yeah, like I had to put a sock over my mic because last episode, I was like, why do I feel like there's like a lot of, surrounding sounds? It's almost not
Feedback.
echoing, but just like
Yeah.
it was weird. So I put a sock over it this time and I'm going to go back and see if it made a difference, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, Ben said he would morph into a
Yeah,
cheetah.
I love cheetahs. I want to pet a cheetah
I wonder why specifically a cheetah, though. That's an interesting one. That's
because they're
good.
beautiful.
That's like McGonagall. She morphs into a cat.
Yeah, she's so cool. I
If you
love
don't know what we're talking about, then you don't know Harry Potter. And
her.
I don't know how I feel about that, honestly, but it's okay.
She's one of the legendary people in Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's the best. Honestly, it's so good. Oh my gosh.
I get
You
chills.
guys, I know. Just thinking about, I get chills just thinking about Harry Potter.
I got chills.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't reposted the live already, please do that. That would be so helpful for us. We are going to have an incredible conversation today about managing change. And yeah, if you guys don't know, I actually am certified in change management. I got certified in change management many years ago working at Benefit. Benefit actually helped me get a lot of certifications, all kinds of stuff. I'm certified in facilitation and gotten certified in Spark Leadership by Angie Morgan herself. If you're aware of who she is, and who also was in the military. So incredible woman. Really good book, Spark Leadership. If you haven't read it, you should definitely check it out. But yeah, I got certified in change management many years ago and went through the entire process of like what was really going on with change. And what's so interesting about change to me is that change, the process of change, is actually akin to the process of grief. So
Makes
all of those same, yeah, it does. So after I heard it, like throughout this training, I was like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. All of those stages that people go through with grief are the same kind of stages that people go through with change. And what I find so fascinating about that is grief is kind of like a one-off. Grief happens when something happens in our lives. We lose somebody close to us or an animal close to us or whatever that is, right? Different things that bring on grief, but they're specific circumstances. What I find so interesting about that process being so akin to change and it having to go through like all those stages is that we are constantly going through change.
right.
So it's almost
Always.
like, yeah. So it's almost like we are stuck in a cycle, if you will,
Mhm.
of these different um, stages of what grief and change look like. But we do it constantly when we're dealing with change because everything moves so quick.
Yeah.
Um, that's awesome. I didn't know that about you. Um, I don't know if he's joking or if he I never know if he's joking or he's being serious. But
Well, it has to be with what he's done in the past.
oh my gosh. Oh, thanks so much, Ben. Super appreciate you for doing that. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And more.
Sham.
I agree with the shampoo. Me too.
Thanks for making me feel bad. Listen, everybody was doing stuff this weekend. What do you want me to do? We can't get in there with like 2 people and do an entire show with a whole cast of people missing. It's okay. We'll be back next week and we'll be talking about what the hokey pokey is really all about. And honestly, I feel like you guys are going to want to hear that one. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I wish we could get on live and do it, honestly, but we'll see how that pans out in the long run. Anyways, getting back to change. See, we're already changing the subject. Here we are, just
Happens
immediately talking
all
about
the time.
different stuff. So we're constantly in these stages of change. And I just find that fascinating because it's understanding like and knowing maybe where you are at in the process with what change is going on in your life at any given time to really help you to kind of like navigate and flow through that. So here the thing about change first and foremost is that everyone often rejects change initially. It's
Right.
just any change that comes our way. It's like we have this immediate response that's like no. And I'm interested to know why do you think that happens for you personally and why anybody who's watching any of you guys like why you think that happens for you personally because it happens to everybody. It is an automatic response. We are going to reject change no matter what, no matter if we're super good at handling change, even if you're somebody like me who's certified in change management, it's like you're still the way that you're dealing with change is not going to change essentially. So, why do you think personally that you reject change when it first comes your way?
I think it comes from like fear, like a fear of failure and rejection, the loss of control, uncertainty. That has a lot to do with why I reject change. It's just it comes down to fear, and the loss of control and not knowing what's going to happen when you accept the change that's coming.
That's so interesting too. And I think that that is the case for a lot of us, like in terms of wanting to control what's going on in our lives. But what I
Mhm.
find so interesting about that is that logically, we can look at our lives in any given moment and say to ourselves, we can't control what's going on in our lives. We know that we can't. We can't control outside circumstances. We can't control what comes our way. We can't control what other people we're in relationship are going to do, even our children.
Right.
So I think it's so funny that it comes from this visceral response of not wanting to accept the idea that we can't control something really in the long run, right? It's like that loss of control. Um, Mike says change has a strong potential to take people out of their routines and comfort zones. Yeah. And then media followed up with humans are creatures of habits. It's instinctual. So it's like, it's true. I think that those pieces of us, it really is, it's innate in within us to want to continue doing the same types of things, to continue in the habits and the routines that we have, to be comfortable in that setting. And in reality, change doesn't always have to be bad. Oftentimes, change is good. So it's like, it's funny how we can look at our brains and think, like, how could we rewire that to some extent to understand, to at least understanding like where that baseline like thought process is coming from. I think for me, it's comfort
Yeah.
more than anything. Like it's like I I like the way that things are, the way that I have things set up, and I want to kind of remain in that. Even though again, I know that I can't control everything. But it's like that comfort level for me that I would prefer to be comfortable in my life. And also I think it's because it comes from a place for me like I'm so adamant about living an abundant life and really wanting to like live into my experience and wanting it to go in certain ways that it's like, yeah, that it's that comfort piece for me, I think, when I think about that.
Yeah, I like routine quite a bit, and so it's really hard for me to, um, leave my routine in any shape, form, or fashion. So And if I do leave routine, it kinda sends like a panic, throughout my entire body and through my mind. So, it's really hard to handle change at times.
Yeah. And I think it's good for us to recognize like where we're at with that. But I also think there's something to be said to trying to adapt better to change so that we don't end up in those moments, that we don't end up in those panic moments. And I think over time, I think we're always going to have the instinctual response, right? Like I think that we're always going to have that immediate response, like the way that we handle that as humans. But I think over time we can maybe adapt differently. I know that we can because when you observe more elderly people, a lot of those people, not all, because you have to do the work to get to where you're going, right? But a lot of those people who have been around for quite some time, and I know even in myself, like I look at myself when I was 20 versus now in my 40s, way different person. Way
Right,
different person. Yeah, in the way that I react and everything, right? So I it there's something to be said. It's like observing that kind of process that you can get to a place where you know that you can't, you're not gonna love change. You're never gonna get to a place where you love it. But I think that you can adapt more so over time. And I see it, like I said, in more of those elderly people who have been around for a long time
right,
and don't immediately panic
right.
the minute something happens. So I think for yourself and for everybody listening and watching, what do you think you can personally do to adapt better to change?
That's a good question, and that's
It's
something I've
really,
really had to work on, like, the past, you know, about 6 to 8 months because I was so fearful of change, and so I know for me, in order to adapt better, I've had to take really good care of myself or better care of myself, like little steps at a time for me. And I've had to try and maybe find meaning and purpose in change instead of dread, and try and build like some type of resilience when it comes to it. And also, I feel like having an open mind does a lot too when it comes to change and to be able to let go of that need to control things all the time. I tell myself all the time, I can only control me and my reaction to it. And that takes a lot of weight off my shoulders and allows me to be more comfortable with change when it comes along. So,
yeah. I think like Ben says, being able to adapt to change would significantly help improve your life. Yeah. It's
absolutely.
not always constant. There's times that you'll have to be able to adjust. Facts. I think it's it's having that open mind, like you said, to the idea that there are gonna be things that change. And what's funny is like uh media said I love change actually. And what's funny is that life change, I love life change. I mean, I've moved all over. I've done like a ton of stuff. I constantly am just like changing and evolving. Actually, I find comfort in that. And that's why I know when I peel it back, like the problem, if I have an issue with change at any point, it's like it's that comfort piece for me because I do find comfort actually in certain change. But those, it's like those changes that I feel like like I seek it, like how media was saying I look for it. Like
Yeah.
I do too, but I
Um,
feel that there's part of it where it's the change that I know that I can control in my mind. Like
right.
I know I can't control it, but it is something that I'm outwardly seeking and doing purposely and wanting, right? And so that kind of change is very different. I live for that kind of change. When things are thrown at me, I mean, I'm pretty flexible. I mean, I have to be, right? Like even just in my business and all of the stuff that I do, even within that, I have to be. And I have to kind of like pivot and do what I need to do when I need to do it. But I get frustrated. I can't say that I don't get frustrated. And I would like to get less frustrated. What I've done in the last, like, I wanna say 5 years or so, is when I've had really big changes that have happened to me, and I've had extremely big changes happen in my life within the last 5 years. losing my dad, losing my son, losing so many different things in my life, and changing so much within like what I was doing and having to do that because of my circumstances. I've found that journaling through those changes, writing down as I'm going, like what are the good things that are happening, helps me to be more in tune with the idea that change, even when change feels bad or hard on the front end, things can always come from change. Like good things can always come from change. And it just helps me to recognize that. So that's something I personally do to try to adapt myself to this thought process, like over time as I get older. Um, but I think it's a good question for everybody to ask themselves. Like, what can you specifically do yourself to adapt to change that would help you to be more pliable, if you weird, if you will. That's so funny. There's something weird in the chat. I can't see Ben's comments. Strange. Well, I'm going to put Ben's comments up here. When I was 15, I could never envision myself wearing a burger costume. Now in my 20s, I am willing to have that open mindset. I could care less what others think. I will wear it with pride, change for the better. Amen. I can't wait. I hope you do wear that. Do wear that hamburger costume. Honestly, that thing is hilarious.
Please
If
do.
I
I'm working on
if,
it.
if I can get Ben to wear a hamburger costume when he's visiting next month in
Yeah,
just a couple
you've
weeks
succeeded in life if
at
you can get
Tasty Burger, yeah, I feel like I've completed my mission here
yeah.
on the planet. Um, let's see. He's so willing, so I don't know that it's actually really. Oh my Mike says also when you make changes, it can change others' perception of you, especially people whose opinions you value. That's true. But also don't let that stop you from making change, right? I think people put way too much weight on what other people think of them, in my personal opinion. And I feel like you'd be living a lot nicer of a life
Right. Right.
if you didn't.
Care less,
Yeah.
about people's opinions. We all know how
Mm,
we feel about that.
amen.
Cheers to not caring about other people.
Cheers to not caring about what people think. Man, I hope you are all having a fantastic Memorial Day. Just hanging out, doing your thing, honoring those who you feel you need to honor in your life. And it's so rainy here, but it is what it is.
We had some crazy storms come through here last night. I think I slept through a tornado warning. So, but it didn't hit. So it said tornado possible. And I was like, what?
Wow.
I had my phone up and I was like, good God Almighty. I'm glad
I
nothing
don't
really crazy.
I don't know how you do it. I could never live in a place where there is tornadoes. That's something I have not experienced.
This season is really bad for crazy weather like that. And we live right around the areas that, seem to have a lot of tornadic activity too. So it's crazy over here, man.
Yeah, it's wild. Like you're in another world.
Yeah,
I feel like you're on
I
another
do. I love
planet.
the weather. I don't love the tornadoes, but I do love the thunderstorms. I love the strong thunderstorms. I
Me
love,
too. That stuff I love,
yeah,
especially in the summer. The summer storms, like, oh my gosh, they're so
peaceful.
amazing.
Mm, very peaceful.
Yeah, it really is. 90 degrees in Central Texas. It has been nice here. It's been like 80s and stuff. It's been beautiful, which has been
It's so
awesome.
humid and sticky, and I'm not about that life. I love wintertime more than anything.
Oh, not here, not
Dude,
me.
I hate the humidity here. You could cut it with a knife.
I
It's
can't
so thick.
wait to get away from the winter.
I bet. I mean, I don't like some of the like the harsh winters
Yeah,
and stuff, but like our winters, it gets down to like 30, 37, 40 degrees.
yeah. You guys are dealing with
Like,
cake
yeah,
stuff.
so
I'm
I'm
like,
I'm down with that.
Northeast is a whole nother
Yeah,
dragon, if you will.
very
Oh, that's
different.
awesome. Yeah. That's awesome, Mike. I'm so glad. I'm excited to read it when you're done. You could
Yeah,
even come and link your article in the comments of
yeah,
this live. That would be really cool, and people would probably see it over time. Um, all right, getting back to change. Hindsight is always 2020. So tell me about a time, and this is again it's for everybody. I just want you to know when I'm talking to Blaze throughout this podcast, I'm always talking to all of you guys.
yes.
That's just how it is. So I'd love to know about a time when you went through something you thought was going to be a really hard change, but actually ended up helping you in a big way that you weren't prepared for.
So I guess our biggest change was when my son was diagnosed with autism. I didn't know anything about autism. It scared me half to death because I didn't know how I was going to raise a child with autism. I didn't know what to expect. But it turned out to be the most rewarding, the most beautiful journey I think I've ever been on because he's so resilient. I mean, in everything and incredibly smart. Um, Kind of lacks intuition sometimes, but I mean, that's probably one of the biggest changes I think I've been on as a woman, as a parent, um, is when he was diagnosed with autism. And it's just been, I mean, there's been incredible days and there's been horrible days. You just learn resilience, you learn to embrace it, and you push through every single day trying to do the best you can for your child. And I think it's super important, and I took classes. I read a lot about autism. We submerged ourselves in therapy. Um, we did speech, occupational, behavioral, feeding therapy. And, we're still in therapy now, and we're trying to get in more behavioral therapy. But yeah, like that was one of the biggest, you know, changes I've had to adjust to personally, in my life was when he was diagnosed.
And
And
how do you think that has helped you as a person?
um it's given me courage, honestly, because I felt like for so many years I didn't really have a voice, but when you have to advocate for your child on so many different areas, you become you tend to have a lot more courage and less fear when speaking out about it, and for yourself. You advocate for your child for so long, eventually you end up advocating for yourself as well. And God, it's done so many good things in every area of my life. I feel like it's changed a lot about me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing. See, it's like we get presented with these really hard things in life that
Yeah.
we just, right off the rip, we're like, nope, can't do this, can't walk through this, can't get through this, not going to happen. And then again, hindsight is 2020. You look back and you're like,
Did the damn.
okay, yeah, like I got through it. I mean, for me, it's I mean, one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with was losing my son. And, you know, giving birth to your child and holding them and like knowing that you can't know them is a devastation like no other.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I like literally didn't want to get out of bed. I mean, for a long time, for a while. And I didn't know like what I was going to do because I was like, how am I going to like how does someone walk through this? You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know.
how does like how do you walk through it? You just don't. Like it's like I can't imagine.
You almost have to sit in it for a while and allow yourself to
Yeah, I
every
did have to.
possible.
I did have to. And what's crazy though is that I got so much clarity from walking through that situation about my own life and what I was doing and what I could do differently. First of all, it made me recognize how unpredictable life is. I
Right.
think the easiest way to look at this is that they people think you get pregnant and you have a baby in 9 months, and that's kind of like the outcome, and it's the outcome that everybody wants, and I would never even wish anything like what happened to me on any other person at all. Like, I would hate for anybody to be a part of the club that I am in.
Right.
It's not a fun one. It's not a good one, and it's not something that anybody should have to walk through. But there are many people that walk through it. And it's like just recognizing through that instance, like how really truly how unpredictable life is and how anything can happen at any time gave me so much clarity on understanding like what I really wanted for my life,
Right.
what I really wanted to accomplish at the end of the day, what I really wanted to be doing should it be my last day on earth, like it was just such a jarring, like,
I can't even imagine.
you know, like,
Wow.
so it's like, it gave me so much clarity and it's like, man, I was miserable. Like, I was not healthy. I was not taking care of myself well because I was working like crazy. I was, you know, at the time I was overseeing like all of culture and education for a tech company in California. I was building all of their systems essentially from that perspective, all of their education and all their cultural systems. And that was after I had already done that globally at Benefit. So I went to that job because when I found out I was pregnant, I knew I wouldn't be able to travel the way that I had been traveling at Benefit. And but I was just working crazy, you know what I mean? I had been working crazy for years prior to that in the corporate world. And I recognized like how I was just like going through my life, how I was just like walking through the motions. I was just doing this thing just to do it. I was so tied to the idea that like I had, I don't know what it was, like I had something to prove to somebody about like what I could achieve, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I've already done it. I've already shown,
Right.
like, I've already done these huge, crazy things. Like, why am I still running myself into the ground like this? I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I want to live my life the way that I want to live it. And all of that is actually like what got me to a place where I felt confident enough to even start my business, which has completely changed my life.
Right.
In like so many ways. You know what I'm saying? So it's and I don't say this to say, oh yeah, it now has like the loss of my child has no value. Like it's not, it's always gonna be there. I'm always gonna be sitting with that. I sit with it every single year. I like, it's like it never goes away. But it's incredible how circumstances can help you to completely shift your mindset,
Absolutely.
to see things like in a completely different way that turns your entire life on its head.
Right.
So obviously that's like an intense, devastating situation that I walked through myself. But my point with that and why I always share that, first of all, I think that healing is in the revealing. There are so many people like myself who are quiet. They don't say anything about their circumstances. They think nobody cares. And I always want to tell people that there are other people out there who care and who have gone through that.
Absolutely.
And secondly, it's like I say all of that to show you that in even the most devastating circumstances, you can find the light. You can find the good, right? Like,
Always.
so I think that's good to know. I think about it for yourself if you haven't already and you're hanging out with us, whether you're here live or on the recording. Think about it for yourself. Like, what was a big, huge, monumental changing moment in your life that actually ended up giving you some kind of direction or some kind of skill in another area that you wouldn't have had you not walked through that.
Right.
That's true.
It's so true.
It's not wanted. It's not
Right.
wanted, but it's sometimes true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just changed my I just changed my mind right now as well. I ate 2 breakfast tacos. I thought that would make me full. In the middle of my second, I decided that I wanted to eat 5. Oh my god, do you know how good handmade tortillas are?
I wanna make handmade tortillas. He'll have to send me a recipe.
Mm, that would be nice. Well, this has been a fantastic conversation so
Yeah.
far for sure. And we obviously have so much more fun stuff to do. But first, I'm going to go ahead and share. Man, oh man, these tinctures are next level. This one here is a calm stomach tincture. It's great for GERD, digestion, and bloating. But we do have 10 that you can choose from for different ailments. All you have to do is take a half a dropper or a dropper underneath the tongue, and you're good to go. Grab one today at champagneapothecary.com. And I love those tinctures so much. I'm literally told you.
Got mine right in the
I
background.
told you this morning. I'm not messing around. I'm doing an energy tincture
Ooh,
drink for the morning.
the shrooms tincture, can you add that to drinks too?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
That I have one of those in here actually.
Even like the menopause?
Oh yeah. All of this stuff, dude. Are you kidding me?
What?
This is a concoction. Okay.
I'm super excited about this. Oh my god. Olipop and
This is a concoction. All right, you ready? This is watermelon water. This is coconut seltzer. This is calm stomach tincture. This is energy tincture. This is a lung detox tincture, respiratory tincture. And this is, oh my gosh, what was the other thing that I put in there? No, I'm like drawing a blank. Mood boost tincture. I threw mood boost tincture in here. And then there is raspberries.
oh my god.
It's so good.
Glorious. What are you talking about?
And the crazy thing is, so you've taken the tinctures, so you know, they're strong. But the
Right.
crazy thing is like seriously, even with just that kind of stuff, and it's not even anything really like sweet per se, but that kind of stuff, it completely drowns it out.
That's
You
awesome.
don't even taste it. And there's like 4 or 5 different tinctures in there.
I am so mixing me up on when I get off here.
Yeah, dude. It's like I take my stuff like this all the
Strawberry.
time.
My
It's
god.
crazy.
Had to go down
Um,
today.
I love them. I don't know. If you guys have never used tinctures, my gosh, look into tinctures. They are glorious. It is. You can use them right in the moment when you're dealing with stuff, or you can take them like preventatively, like in this kind of concoction, so to speak. But they are so effective. They go right underneath your tongue. They go right into your system immediately. It's just crazy. And we work in tandem with another herbalist that I know she is the bee's knees. She's so good at getting all of these crazy like potencies out of like what's what. So anyways, all of that to tell you about my drink. Thank you. Cheers. I hope you like the ice sound.
I do love
Um
that sound.
well, we know what it's time for. Are you guys ready for this? I'm not entirely sure that you are, but that cat gets me every time. Oh my gosh. Well,
Oh
you
my
guys,
god.
that is our signal that it's time to get cracked with Kristina. And so, yeah, Kristina, what do you have for us today?
All right, you guys. I got 3 questions for you. What would you call a male ladybug?
What?
What would you call a male ladybug?
A male ladybug,
Yeah,
a lord bug.
a duty bug.
Is that what it's really called?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's what I would call it.
you said it so confidently. I was like, oh, is that what it's really called?
I don't think so. I have
Oh,
no idea what it's called. Does anyone know what a male ladybug is called? Is it still called a ladybug? I need to know these things.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just really enjoy the idea that it would be called a lord bug,
A lord bug?
like Lord Bug from
Lord and
like
lady?
Bridgerton.
I love that. I like that. I like your answer better.
Lord Bug.
Lord bug.
I don't know. What would you guys call a male ladybug?
It is still a
It's
lady.
still a ladybug. Come on, play the game.
Come on. Throw me a bone here.
He's eaten too many tacos.
He has.
He's too at ease.
All right, question number 2. Have you ever laughed so hard that you forgot why?
Oh my God, yeah.
All the time. Like, I literally do all the time.
Oh
Like,
my
what am I
gosh.
looking at? What are we doing here?
I do it
Yes,
all the time
all the
too.
time. All the
I
time.
I think it's like worse as I get older because I just forget things normally. Like I have to take brain and memory tincture constantly because I'm like, okay, it does give me clarity in my brain that just likes to lose its train of thought at any point. Um, so I think it happens more as I get older, but yeah. And then sometimes just stuff is so funny, you're like lost in the laughter. Oh my gosh. Media says, yeah, I laugh for no reason without talking, then forget what I was thinking about.
All the time.
I do that too. Do you ever have a where you laugh in your sleep? Like as you're falling asleep and you don't know?
My husband says I talk in my sleep, I grit my teeth, I make noises, all kinds of stuff. And when we first got married, he was like, "It kind of freaked me out because you talk a little bit in your sleep," and my daughter does too. She'll get up, straight up, come in the living room and have a conversation with me and go right back to sleep, or she's, like, almost kind of sleepwalking, and I'm like, "Do you not remember the conversation that we had last night?" "Absolutely not." I'm like, "That's so weird." I don't ever
Yeah.
sleepwalking like that.
My son did that early in his teens and I was so nervous. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hope this isn't something that he does because it freaks me out that people do that." And I'm like, "My gosh, what happens if you go out of your house?" You know what I mean? Just all the things start going through your head.
Right,
He doesn't do that anymore. But he did in his right before his teens and like in his early teens. It used to scare the like
yep.
I'd be sometimes I'd be like, "What's wrong with you? Are you okay?"
Yeah, like, we actually had to have our son taken to Levaner to see if he was having seizures because he would wake
Oh,
up and he would be, like, shaking and he would be crying, but there were times that he would get up and he would, like, be almost like he was, like, freaking out about a completely different world that he was dreaming about, and I guess I could describe it as, like, how it was kind of like Minecraft, how Minecraft is set up. It was like he was jumping off of these blocks because I don't know, there was just something going on in his world that he was dreaming about, and he would do it for, like, a solid 10 minutes before he would wake up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I just don't know what to do. Never even had to deal with this."
it's
And so
wild.
it is wild. It really is.
It's wild. Our sleepwalkers just temper. Honestly, there were days where I was wondering. I was
Weird.
very scared.
Yeah, me too.
Um, Seriously, it's scary to see somebody in that state. But the laughing thing, that happens to me all the time. Like I'll be like falling asleep and I'm laughing. And then it's like
You
all I
would
know
fall asleep laughing. That would be you.
I don't
Absolute
know why.
you, for sure. If there's anyone falling asleep laughing, it's Amber Champagne.
Like, it like wakes me up and I'm like, what was I just laughing about? It's so weird.
I think I've woke myself up talking at
I've
times.
had friends like ask me, like, when are you what's happening?
I don't know.
I
Just
don't
happens.
know. Just happens. Anyway.
All right, question number 3. What would be the rudest animals if they could talk?
Oh man. What would be the rudest animals if they could talk? Gosh, I know everybody loves squirrels, but I feel like squirrels would be just complete assholes. Like
Or alpacas
alpacas.
because they spit at you. I feel like that's some rage coming out. I feel like
It could be
birds,
birds.
yeah, for sure.
Mm,
Cats,
depends.
absolutely.
Cats for sure. Cats, I mean, cats are a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But I feel like squirrels would be like an unexpected one. Like they're
Yeah.
just such like I don't know. Maybe I have a personal vendetta against squirrels because the squirrel cornered me in my hallway once when I was like 9 years old, and I still can't get over it.
Me and my dad used to have a pet squirrel.
What?
Yeah. My
My
dad
friend
raised
had a pet squirrel. It's so weird. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you feeding this thing?
Oh, I totally would. But yeah,
Oh,
like, he raised it for a long time. I wasn't his really favorite person. I mean, it would depend on the day, and he would let me handle him and pet him and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, he would scratch you up if he didn't know you.
I'm telling you. See, that's what I'm saying. These squirrels, man. I don't know. They can't be trusted, in my opinion. Blaze
Yeah,
is
and,
showing.
I looked up because I had a pet squirrel.
Yeah, probably.
It's okay. Well, my uncle in New York had a pet raccoon. Does that make it any better?
Well, that sounds
If
about
I
right.
ever come up on a raccoon or a baby raccoon that's lost, it's mine. 100% it's mine. I'm raising it,
Woman,
putting it in some pajamas, it's mine.
this woman and her animals.
Yeah,
I just can't. I can't. Those were fun questions.
I know.
Thank you for that.
No
I
problem.
like getting cracked with Kristina.
Thank you.
It
Stay
helps
cracked.
my day. Oh, well, we have another segment for you guys. That is just a random. We do rando segments every week. And last week, what did we do? Vintage last week? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we
So
did vintage
so long ago. Like I was like, whatever. But today, woo!
Woo!
We're going down the Harry
One,
Potter road.
I have my Hufflepuff pillow.
Oh my gosh. This I love it. I have on right now, I have my herbology t-shirt on. I did make see, we did plan this one. That's for sure. You're like Harry Potter it up.
Absolutely.
I have my herbology t-shirt on. I was like, let's go. So we have 3 finds for you. There is let me see if I can sometimes, technical stuff just makes me like wild. Um, let me see. We have 3 things that I want to show you. There is a really cool. We found all these like really cool. Well, we found way too many,
Yeah,
honestly.
we get excited about these things, you guys.
We were so excited. We were like, what are we going to show them? There
Yeah.
are so many things on Etsy and all kinds of stuff, but anyways, so you guys can probably see now this is an acceptance letter, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to get one of these.
Me too.
I have been waiting for mine for way too long. And these are just so cool. This is such a great idea, in my opinion. If you have a friend or someone who really loves Harry Potter, or you yourself just want an invite to Hogwarts, they create these really cool acceptance letters on Etsy. All you have to do is search editable acceptance letter, and you will find this one and many others. Honestly, we just really like this one, so we chose this one. But I'm sure you guys will go on a search and find lots of stuff because, like I said, I think last week when we were doing our agenda for this for the 5th week, because after we end our podcast, we do our agenda for like our week after, and we're 4 weeks in advance. So we were doing our agenda for our 5th week, and seriously, we flew through that, and then we got to this stuff, and we just started.
Yeah, crazy.
There was so much to choose from. So
It really is. If anybody would like to offer and send us a acceptance letter from Hogwarts, that would be awesome.
honestly, that would be the best. I
Love it.
would seriously, thank you. And if you could get it to be, sent to me with an owl,
That
even
would
better.
be cool too.
Even better. All right, so that's our first one, and I have 2 more to show you. So we have, let's look at these next. This is,
I love
these
that.
are gorgeous. I know.
What
So these
one?
are the house vintage loose. I liked it too because, of course, it was also vintage. So there's
No.
that. You're not going to search that one there. This is how you're going to find this. So this is the HP Wizard Magic Hogwarts School Vintage Loose Leaf Notebook, if that wasn't too much of a mouthful for you guys. Say
That's
that
my
10 times
favorite.
fast.
I absolutely want one of those.
They are beautiful. And
Beautiful.
yeah, really, really cool. You can get them at stampprints.com. And yeah, I'm Slytherin in case anybody is wondering
I'm
and
Hufflepuff.
wants and Blaze is Hufflepuff. If anybody is wondering and wants to share these with us. But yeah, these are really cool. I like these a lot.
I do too. Like a lot.
I know. I mean, come on, dude. Let's
It would be
what?
I love that
They're
so much.
beautiful. I
They are
know.
beautifully done.
Like, look at them. Oh my gosh, look at the detail, honestly. Like all the metal detail and stuff. Really cool. And look at that wax seal back there. Wax seals. Oh, that's what we did last week was wax seals and letters, right? Now
Yes.
now I'm remembering.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I know. Look at that Hufflepuff one. I gotta say though,
That one's
baby,
nice. That
it's
one's
so
super
beautiful.
nice. It is
I'm
beautiful.
so excited about that. So that's that. Again, you can find those on stampprints.com. That is I'm going to say it again, HP Wizard Magic Hogwarts School Vintage Loose Leaf Notebook. Guess why not? Oh my gosh. All right. And then I have one more thing to share with you, and it is a funny one. Let's see. So we've got this is the not today muggle fucker. This is the not today cup. And honestly, there are a bunch of these as well. You can search not today. I'm sorry, but whoever came up with this thought process is so great.
Yeah.
Motherfucker mug on Etsy. You will find other ones. We preferred this one. We really liked the way it looked.
Hilarious.
But there are a lot. Oh yeah, Mike says, I'll bet there's a massive audience for Hogwarts acceptance letters. There
Absolutely.
absolutely is. He said, note to self, start Etsy store.
Right?
Oh, I'm like, we could just make them. That's true, but it wouldn't be the same.
The same as having one sent to you as a surprise.
Yeah, it's the surprise factor that you have gotten into Hogwarts and you've been waiting for 45 years to get that letter. You know what I mean? You thought you were going to get it when you were much younger. The what?
We'll leave that up to new media.
Yeah. Well, that is all of our Harry Potter finds. So I hope you guys found that exciting and fun. We are, let's see. My gosh, what is going on my computer today? I've got so many things happening on my computer. Someone needs to help me technologically. How do
Yeah,
I run all of the stuff that I do in my life? I'll never know.
me neither.
Anyways, we had a fantastic conversation about change and lots of really great stuff there. I hope that you guys found some insights in your own lives about change, or will if you go and think about what we talked about during our conversation later on, or journal it, or whatever that looks like for you. Blaze, when it comes to change, what are your final thoughts?
I feel like we tend to go our entire lives and being fearful of it and not even realizing that it's inevitably a part of the evolution process. It's always constant. And I think it's important to have an open mind and understand that change is part of the evolution process. Why fight something that's inevitable? And I think it's important to change your perspective of it. And that alone, just changing your perspective of it is progress. Take care of yourself through it. Be gentle with yourself, be gracious with yourself. We're like flowers in constant bloom. You have to nurture yourself in order to grow. So give yourself some grace and room to grow. It's not easy changing your perspective. It takes time, and just be gentle with yourself. It's important to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, thank you so much for joining us for our episode 2, How to Manage Change Calls with Friends. We have so much good stuff coming your way. We are just slowly working on different bits and pieces of things. We would love to hear your feedback. Please let us know what you're loving, what you would love to see, any thoughts or like ideas that you have. We totally are willing to hear all of that stuff. Tonight we have self-care space at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So we are going to do self-care and meditation then. If you guys want to find me in spaces throughout the week, it's Mondays, self-care and meditation at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays, the Brick House with Lego and Media at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And that is a new time. So please take note of that. Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, comedy improv, which again, we are doing What is the Hokey Pokey really all about this week? I can only imagine what is going to come from that. And then Sips and Stories on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern. That is where you can find me in spaces, where you can find us in spaces. Super excited tonight for self-care and meditation. If you haven't come to that space, you definitely should check it out. It's a super chill vibe. And we just have really, really fantastic conversations in there, akin to things like this, but where we can chat with more people. So
Yeah.
yeah, let us know. Let us know what you think. We hope to see you tonight. And remember, dealing with change is hard. It is akin to grief. So remember to make space for yourself, give yourself grace, and do what you can to learn how you can best adapt to change as you continue on in your journey. Thank you so much, friends, for being here with us today. We super appreciate you. Cheers to podcasting.